Good evening, aviators. Any guesses for where I am today?
I just need some space. I just need some space.
I am at Melbourne Airport. We're doing one of the most travelled domestic routes, which is Melbourne to Sydney. I've been wanting to go to this place for quite some time. The thing is, I wanted to fly myself there. I just haven't been able to. Now, there's a ton of reasons why I haven't been able to. Long story short, I haven't done it. So instead, we're gonna go via commercial routes and maybe make some fun of it. Does anyone else play seat lottery? The anxious wait. Yeah, no dice on the lottery win there, but that's okay. Just look out the window. Ooh, aeroplane. Once again, departing toward the west on runway 27, following what is known as the Standard Instrument Departure, aka the SID, which sees us initially track to the west before making a couple of right-hand turns, setting us up for our track to Sydney. On our climb up to our cruise altitude of flight level 330, we were treated to some spectacular views of the sun setting over Melbourne. The flight to Sydney always feels quick. This flight felt even quicker though, because I was slightly mesmerized by that view, and I was distracted when using AvPlan tracking our flight. The approach into Sydney had us setting up for an arrival on runway 16 right. If you manage to get this approach, hopefully you're sitting on the port side of the aircraft. That's the left side. So you can be treated to some Sydney city skyline views. Gosh, that's really hard to say. In my case here, we landed slightly later and it was a bit too dark to be able to capture the views appropriately. More on this later. Anyway, touching down into Sydney, but I'm gonna do it. That took way longer than what it needed to. So maybe I decided to go and get some food and may have taken a little bit longer to do that sequence than what it should have. And now it's almost 11 p.m. It's been a long day. So here's what happened. We were scheduled to depart at 7:30 p.m. However, we were sat at the holding point for what felt like 30 minutes, maybe longer than 30 minutes. When we boarded, an announcement came over to say that there had been a runway change and it was due to the congestion. We did not start rolling until 8:15. Flight time, we were told, 1 hour and 5. By the time we got to disembarking, it was closer to 9:30, probably 1 hour 15. So not too much difference, but it was an hour later than what we were expecting. The flight itself was actually really nice. I got a coffee, that was cool. And the crew were really good. So far, average cost of that flight was $187. All in all, we were delayed. I expect delays these days, but everything else was pretty good. We made it, and now I'm here. So, I've got a couple of days of work. Once work's done, can come back to doing this and go and do the thing that I'm really, really pumped to go and do. I can't wait. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be 2 seconds for you, 2 days for me. So I am going to hit the deck because I am so tired. So right now it's lights out. Good night, aviators. We did it! We made it! I am buzzing like an old fridge. Welcome to the HARS Aviation Museum here in Shellharbour. I picked an average time to record this part because we are at an active runway and there's a helicopter about to take off, so I don't know how well the sound is going to come out. Also, I may be distracted by a helicopter taking off. Super excited to be here, finally. Like, this is a place where I wanted to fly to myself for quite some time. I haven't actually been able to do that, but I will do it at some point. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but one day I will fly to this airport and visit that airplane. This place does house two of my favorite airplanes. One, obviously, the 747 behind us, but another one is the Constellation. That plane I do love because I'm a big Howard Hughes fan, and he had a big influence in the design of the Connie. I went to Portland and I saw Howard Hughes's Hercules, or maybe more commonly known as the Spruce Goose.
It's called the Hercules! And it will fly, goddammit!
That plane was amazing, like 100-meter wingspan. It is like, when that was built, it was massive. Today, it is still massive. Like, it is one of the biggest planes I've ever seen. And it's made of wood, so weird. So, really keen to go and check out what this place has got. I don't know if I'm allowed to do any filming in here, so I'll see whatever I can do. I'll do it. Yeah, super excited to be here. So come on inside, we'll see what we can film, what we can't film. Let's go inside the museum, check it out. Tucked away at Shellharbour Airport is one of Australia's most underrated aviation treasures, the Historic Aircraft Restoration Society, or for short, HARS. And if you're any kind of aviation nerd, this place is going to do some serious damage to your afternoon plans. HARS is a volunteer-run organisation dedicated to the preservation and restoration of historic aircraft, and not just as static museum pieces gathering dust behind a rope. No. Many of these aircraft are maintained in an airworthy condition. These machines still live and breathe, and in a moment I'm going to show you exactly what I mean by that. And with the opportunity to take a step back in time and see how commercial aviation used to operate is something to see. And then there's this, a Qantas Boeing 747, the queen of the skies. Meet Oscar Juliet Alpha, City of Canberra. There's a lot to note about this aircraft, but a really interesting fact is that it flew the longest non-stop flight completed by a 747 from London to Sydney. And then it flew, for the last time, the shortest flight of only 15 minutes down the road to Shellharbour. And I find it really fascinating that they had enough runway to land, but then to butter the first attempt to land, that's some next level piloting. There certainly isn't enough runway length to take off again, so it's fair to say this aircraft won't ever be flying again, but you can still visit and experience what first class was like on a 747. And of course we have the Lockheed Super Constellation, aka the Connie. There is so much history to dive into on this aircraft, which I won't go into here, but if you want to know more, come to the HARS Aviation Museum. They have so much knowledge and such friendly volunteers working here. Now, I'm a big fan of this aircraft, and HARS have one in an excellent condition. It's very cool that this aircraft is still airworthy. Honestly, looking at this cockpit, I have no idea how anyone learned how to fly one of these things. It's overwhelming. And apparently completed an aerial display just a few days prior to my visit. Don't believe me? Check this out. that was pretty cool. I'm currently standing under the wing of our 747 because it is raining. And somehow I've got to get a train back to Sydney. Hopefully I can make it to where I'm going. Just getting a gift for Freddie. Well, that was fun. Now it's time to head back home, this time flying with Qantas on their 737-800. This aircraft is VXB, Victor X-Ray Bravo, and is now 24 years old and still has its twin CFM56 engines working very hard every day. We were cleared for the very long taxi from our gate to runway 34 right, which I feel like needed a flight to get to the holding point that it's such a long way away. Well, after what felt like 20 minutes long, we were entering and rolling for takeoff on runway 34 right. Taking a series of right-hand turns after takeoff, tracking past Sydney Airport, we continued our climb to our assigned cruising altitude of 34,000 feet. Flight time 1 hour 25 minutes, and again we were greeted with a similar sunset reception followed by another textbook landing. Well, I thought textbook. There was one other person on board who may have disagreed. See if you can hear a gasp. I guess flying isn't for everyone. Anyway, if you've made it this far into the video, genuinely thank you. It means a lot. This channel is a bit of a passion project built around a love of aviation, and every single view, comment, and person who sticks around until the end of a video, that's what keeps me going. If you enjoyed this one, please do hit the like button. It sounds like a small thing, but it makes a huge difference. And if you want to come along for more trips / adventures of sorts, feel free to hit that subscribe button, notification bell, so you don't miss anything. The channel is growing, and I really appreciate every single one of you joining me on this flight. Until next week, aviators.